Should we trust our dreams? Dreams can be seen as kind of an extension, a result, an emanation of our conscious personalities. Jung says that people have two opposite attitudes towards the inner voice. They either reject it completely, considering it nonsense, madness, hallucination, or they believe it's the voice of God. My sister is one of those people who are skeptical regarding dreams. Once she told me, "Come on, how can I believe in dreams when I dream about foxes wearing jeans?" And I cannot blame her. There are other people who take dreams very literally. They believe it's really the voice of God. In antiquity, about 2,500 years ago, there was an ancient Sumerian king who saw in the dream that God or a deity came to him and instructed him to build a temple. The king went to oracles, and in the end he understood he has to build the temple. So he brought all sorts of expensive wood and materials and stone from far away, from Asia, from Lebanon. You can read about this story, which is a true story, on Wikipedia. The story is mentioned on some clay cylinders preserved in the museum in Paris. The king truly existed. He was called Gustav. Also, throughout history, religious figures have had dreams in which God appeared to them, instructing them to go into religious battles and to do other actions. I mentioned earlier that I believe that dreams are an emanation from our personality because I observed the content of the dreams of people around me. For example, my son, he's very into games, and like any other teenager, his dreams are always in some kind of fashion related to games. He goes through challenges, he has achievements, he has some tracks he follows. The dreams are really game-like, exactly like his mind during daytime. You will notice that people who have a strong religious background dream often dreams with religious content. For example, if the person is a fervent Christian, they dream about Jesus, about Mary, about the apostles, about gospel, and hardly about, I don't know, Hindu figures, something related to Tibet or ancient Egyptian kings. So I noticed that also in myself. So I'm not dreaming about foxes in jeans. My dreams are not that funny. But they have a lyrical feel to them. They feel like stories. And also because this is what is interesting me during the day. So it's understandable why this Gudea king, this ancient Sumerian king, dreamed about building temples. We all know that the rulers have these megalomaniac dreams. Most of them want to have temples, big buildings, something to display, to demonstrate their powers. At first, you might be impressed. Wow, God talked to him and through a dream, and he built this fantastic building that was all full of golden stuff and blinky blinks. And also around the area of Mesopotamia, I remember reading about the grave of a queen. They found horse skeletons and human skeletons of the whole convoy that she was buried with. So who knows what creep or priest had a dream that the queen must be buried with the 100 innocent others and with the poor animals. Who knows what weird religious ideas come from people who take their dreams as being literal. When people look at those artifacts, probably they imagine a mega complex, beautiful. Nobody has ever seen such a complex. But when I think about the history of it and how it came into being, I see slaves limping, carrying earth and bricks and misery, perhaps children dying because of this work at the complex, at the temple. This misery probably would have not existed if the king would have interpreted the dream correctly. You can see now why I believe that dreams are connected to our own unique personalities. Seems like we have to choose. What should I completely dismiss the dreams? What if I dream about fish swimming in the air or all sorts of oddities? What if there is truly a message from God I have to follow? Apparently there is another attitude you can have towards your dreams. I was reading Fritz Perls' book, the founder of Gestalt therapy. So the book is called The Gestalt Approach, an Eyewitness to Therapy. So in this book, Fritz Perls said one simple phrase: dreams are artistic creations. For me, that felt like a revelation, because if you regard dreams as artistic creations, you don't have that rejecting stance towards them. You have somehow a neutral attitude, the kind of attitude you have when you visit a museum and you see a quirky work of art, angels shooting arrows, right? It's something dreamlike, something very far from reality, but somehow you don't reject it. You let yourself influenced by the emotion in the painting. You start to feel emotions and thoughts. Also in the same book, Fritz Perls says that dreams, thus being artistic creations, they contain some of our projections. If you ever try to write a book, as I did, you will notice that each character is actually a representation of yourself. Even if you write a little story, after you finish, you will notice that the characters in the story somehow are just a little part of you. Any kind of artistic product involves projection. So I concluded that whether it's a dream, whether it's a book, whether it's a song, whether it's a painting, all these creations contain parts of ourselves. I'm having now a third position. I am neither believing that my dreams are nonsense, and I am also not believing that God speaks to me to save the world. And if now we don't have this skeptical attitude towards dreams, we can let ourselves influence by them. We can feel the feelings and think the thoughts as if we were watching a painting or a movie. We get a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts and a lot of insights. But everything stops there. There is no further step we take to make some kind of change in our lives. The tradition of psychology and psychotherapy admits that characters and objects in our dreams represent part of ourselves. And now that I know that, I can try to understand that dream. The problem is that not many people have this possibility or the capacity or the experience or the self-confidence to interpret their dreams and take those insights into the real life. In general, if you read through Carl Jung's dreams interpretations, you will see that they are quite cerebral. There are phrases which I simply don't understand. There are a lot of references to mythology. There are connections that are made which I cannot understand. Everything seems a little bit loosely connected. Often we remain with this feeling that we are not capable of interpreting our dreams. I think a safe way to deal with your dreams is to start with the idea that they are artistic creations. They contain parts of us that we might not be aware of, or parts that we need to know better, feel and note down the emotions and the thoughts that arise through observation of the dream. And in the end, we come to the last step, which is finding the courage to apply those insights. In next video, I'm going to talk to you about how interpreting a dream brought a major change in my life at my current age of 47. It is through following the dream's advice and through its interpretation that I was able to completely change my personal circumstance. That's all from me for today. I hope to see you next time. Please leave a comment and tell me what was your weirdest dream. Do you dream of foxes in jeans? Bye bye.